So today I'm going to be giving you guys my first impressions of the Heritage Collection adjustable razor, which is an homage to the Gibbs number 15. And I'm also going to be doing the shave with WSP Rustic Barbershop. So this is a prototype of Neil's Heritage Collection adjustable razor, which is an homage to the Gibbs number 15 razor with a few modifications. So this is just a prototype. He's only made 25 of these that he released, and I jumped in line and waited for them to drop so that I could purchase one. So these are for evaluation. Neil wanted to get a decent quantity of them into people's hands to review before spending any money on a larger quantity, but he is determined that these will come to the greater public, so he'll be ordering these in larger quantities. So let's go ahead and get lathered up, and I'll tell you guys my thoughts on this, my first impressions at least, while I shave. Alright, so we're lathered up here with our WSP Rustic Barbershop, so really good lather on that. In my opinion, this is one of the better vegan soap bases out there. I know Lee said that he patterned his vegan base off of MDC and made some modifications that he thought were necessary to give it a little bit better skin conditioning. So it's a really good base. I tend to prefer the Formula T. I think it's just a little bit more slick for me, but the vegan base is very, very good as well. So the brush I'm using is a Wild West Brushworks handle with a turn and shave half moon synthetic knot. So this is the fan tuxedo, basically. So this soap comes in a 4.4 ounce tin for $19.99, which comes in at $4.54 an ounce, which on my cost chart is a fair price. And like I said, this is a really, really good vegan base. It's really slick. It builds lather pretty easily, pretty quickly, and it takes a lot of water. So I bowl lathered to try and make sure I got enough water in it, and I still think I need a little bit more. The scent on it is he calls it an Italian barbershop, I think. I get more of a London barbershop-y scent to me. It's really heavy on that bergamot, the kind of citrus note, which to me is more reminiscent of a London barbershop. To me, it's in the same family of scents as Taub's German Street or Razor Emporium's barbershop. Smells very similar to me. In addition to the bergamot, it's got musk and geranium and orange and oak moss, a little bit of patchouli. So it's a pretty traditional barbershop scent, I think. It was one of those ones that I wasn't sure. I mean, I always liked it, but I wasn't sure if I loved it enough. But the more I use it, the more I enjoy it. And my tin is probably just a few months away from being done, and I will replace it. Alright, so let's get to the star of the show, which is the Heritage Adjustable. So the finish on this is really, really good. Like I said, this is supposed to be an evaluation, kind of a prototype, although it is, I would say, production quality. It's supposed to be representative of the production model. So I've got it on 6, which is the top limit of the first rotation. These razors You could probably dial them all the way up to 12 if you really wanted to. That's one of the things about the Gibbs that makes it somewhat unique, is it's not as limited on adjustment because of the way the plastic portion of the handle fits in to the adjustment mechanism. I do have a bump I got to be careful of right here. So I do not have an original Gibbs to compare this to. I have always been too practical to fiddle with adjusting the blades to get them to work in the legacy vintage Gibbs. But I do have an Ambassador, and sometime in the coming weeks I will do a side-by-side video between this and the Ambassador. So this is more of a first thoughts. I did shave with this, my face shave yesterday, but I can't get the clearest of impressions from just a face shave, just because I don't shave quite as much of my face. So I really need a full head shave to start giving first impressions. And even on 6, I would say this feels not too aggressive. It's not rough. I don't know if I mentioned, I have a PermaSharp Super blade in here, which is kind of my go-to blade for razor evaluations. It's definitely performing well. It is a mixed metal razor, so the head and the adjustment dial are a zinc alloy, so Zamach, which is pretty typical of the razors in the price point that Neil's targeting. I think he's targeting the $40 to $50 range, which puts it kind of in the same category as the Progress and the Variant, which are both zinc alloys. And then the center portion here is plastic, which is authentic to the original Gibbs, although it has a little bit different mechanism for the way it fits into the handle. I'll talk more about that when I do my full review of this in a week or two. And then this bottom portion, which actually slides up into here and connects to the top cap, this is aluminum. So fit and finish overall are very good. I would say the chrome plating on the head is probably the same quality as you'll see in a Progress. It's bright and shiny. This one, the top cap, the center post of the top cap does have a little bit of a mark where it didn't plate very well. It's a tiny mark, but again, this is a prototype, so I would expect those sorts of things to get cleaned up in the final run. And it's in the center portion, it's not visible, so my only concern would be this being a zinc alloy, whether or not it starts to corrode over time, but we'll see. Actually, I'm gonna go across the grain. Now, because it is a mixed metal with that plastic body and the aluminum bottom portion, and it is kind of short, it is pretty head heavy. So some people like that, some people don't. It all depends on the way you hold your razor and the way you use your razor. I don't mind terribly, but I think if I had my say, I might want a little bit more weight down in the bottom of the handle just to balance it a little bit better. But it's not bad. It's not quite as well balanced, in my opinion, as a Progress. I don't know. I haven't done my research yet on the original Gibbs. I will be doing that before my full review video. So I don't know if the vintage Gibbs also used a zinc alloy for the head, or if it was the full aluminum. I would imagine if you went full aluminum on the head, it would balance out the weight of the razor a little bit better, but maybe not. But I don't think you're going to get full aluminum on this and hit the price point that Neil was targeting. I know he wants this to be an affordable, adjustable option for people. And so far, even on 6, this is pretty smooth. I'm not having any issues finding the angle. The plastic does have these ridges in it. I don't know if they'll show up on camera or not, but it is a lined plastic, so it has these ridges, similar to the ridges in the aluminum bottom too, which makes it a little bit easier to grip. Again, I don't know if the original Gibbs was the same way, or if that's something Neil added. It's not terribly grippy because they do run up and down, but it's probably just as steady as a Progress. Yeah, so far so good. So it is Memorial Day weekend, which is why I thought the red, white, and blue barbershop soap seemed appropriate. So this will probably post a few days after Memorial Day, but I did want to say, for those of you who celebrate Memorial Day in an authentic way, as in you've actually lost somebody who served in the military, I just want to give my condolences and let you know that my thoughts are with you this weekend. A couple people that I know struggle with Memorial Day are a friend of mine, Sean, who he was in the Army and he lost one of his friends that was in his unit while they were serving overseas. Lost his friend to a dirty bomb over there. And then another friend of mine, Mike Broomhead, if any of you know who that is, he's a radio personality here in Arizona. He's filled in for Glenn Beck on the Glenn Beck Show on occasion. Mike lost his brother. So I know there are those of you out there that don't find this such a happy holiday. But I do think it's important for us to take a moment and remember those people in the military who've served and lost their lives serving for us, to keep us safe and protect our way of life here in America. All right, so that's the shave. Feeling around, I don't feel any missed spots. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit the shower, and then I'll come back for post shave and let you guys know my final first impressions of the Gibbs razor. So I just got done with my shower, and I'm gonna finish up with a little Pinot Clubman. Pinot, I think, is the way you actually are supposed to say that, which to me is the quintessential barbershop scent. To me, this is the one. This is what reminds me of the barbershop I went to with my dad and my grandpa as a kid. That kind of oak moss, fougere, powdery scent. Love that smell. Okay, so the results. I reserve the right to change my mind before I do my real review because I've only used this twice now. But got a really, really great shave. Did not feel aggressive even up on 6. Was plenty efficient. I got a really, really smooth, really, really close shave. Had a little bit of stinging from the aftershave, but not much. I mean, it's a high alcohol aftershave, so that's not abnormal. And it wasn't terrible. So I think this is going to be a really good razor. Like I said, I reserve the right to adjust my thoughts as I use this a little bit more before my official review video. But for now, first impressions, I like it. So I hope you guys found this helpful and be looking forward to a full review coming up in the near future.